All right, everybody, give me an idea. How was the weekend? What did you try and did not work?
Rob, I got one for you.
All right, go Ryan.
I had just one open house this weekend, and so I decided to fill the day before with door knocking, which I hadn't
Okay,
done before, and I knocked 75 doors. Uh,
nice.
Took me about 2 hours. And then, so I was expecting, a pretty good turnout for the open house, but only three came by.
Okay,
But two of the three were people that I had met the day before, and the conversation was so much easier because we had the rapport built already, and it was just like hanging out. It wasn't like meeting them for the first time.
nice. All right. So, what else did you do? Did you do signs?
I did, yes. I had about 15 signs up, which is
How
about
many?
as many as I have right now.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
got it. Got
Um,
it.
so that's how many I had up, and it was on a very busy street. Lots of people driving by. Admittedly, it wasn't the best showing house in the world,
Ah,
but it was at
okay,
a really low price point, so I thought it would kind
okay,
of make up for it.
gotcha. What was price point?
499, but which for the neighborhood was the lowest price.
Okay. What's the average price point in your area?
It's about 500.
Okay. Total city?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Got it. Got it. Good. Well, you made some contacts, and that's good. Very good. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
got those points too.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Absolutely. It's consistency, man. Consistency. Cool. What else? Give me one more, and then we're gonna get into a conversation we started last week. Go ahead, Leah.
Something.
Go ahead.
So I did an open house this weekend and I was, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I could have done anything more wrong. Now I've done open houses before, but then I took the course, I went through.
Yep.
So I had just seen somebody say, "Hey, San Antonio agents, anybody want to hold an open house this weekend?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Didn't look where it was, nothing. Okay. So it's 45 minutes outside of San Antonio in a small town in a gated community on a highway where you can't put any signs. The community is brand new, so there's hardly anybody who lives there. And
Oh,
people who do have literally just moved in. So I went and door knocked some, but then I started feeling like a real weirdo. I did talk to one woman and I was like, if you want to come, she's like, "Oh, I've seen it." I'm like, "Well, it's a great chance for you to bring your friends and family." She's like, "My grandson just bought down the street."
oh.
You've got to be kidding me.
If only you'd been 60 days earlier, right?
Yeah, exactly. don't, don't.
I know. That we all that is for every person on this, you're gonna have a "I wish I'd done this 60 days ago" story,
Yeah,
right? I
exactly.
mean, 100%. It's just part of the process.
Yeah. And I was just laughing because I've done lots of open houses. So I was just like, here I am trying to do like the best one ever. And it's just jacked up left and right. So then I drove to another neighborhood. I was like, well, maybe I'll just go over here and door knock.
Yeah.
So mind you, it's like 110 here in Texas. I'm sweating to death. The houses are like far apart. Nobody's home because I drove by a school and all of the I guess it was back to school night.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's
Okay.
like tons of finally I was like, I'm giving up. But I did put up quite a few signs. Um,
Good.
but I got one person and they say they have an agent, but they're going to sell their place and looking for somewhere. So I'm calling them today and just following up and seeing. So, I mean, we'll see. It
Yeah.
wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I was just laughing so hard because I'm like, I'm going to tell them this. Like, this is, hey, want me to teach a master class on how not to hold an open house?
That'd be it, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that is one of the, we say that obviously it's the door knocking and the signs. We do have to start with the right subject property to do it, right? Otherwise,
It's,
yeah, if it's difficult and it's not the right, average home price, high traffic area. Those are the three big pieces that you want to look to. And sometimes that is difficult to find, right? Gated communities can be a challenge, and it can also be kind of interesting too, because we used to do a bunch of gated ones because we had golf course communities, around Florida, right? And if you're in Florida, every golf course community is a gated community, right? I mean, half the neighborhoods are gated or more, right? So what we used to do is we would go to whoever the guard gate was, because you can do an open house, right? And we would drop off postcards, and we would actually take them a gift card for somewhere, and they go, "Oh, dude, thank you so much," right? And make sure you keep it on the down low, because a lot of times they can't accept those things since they work there. But just, with the gift card or with the postcards with directions to the actual property itself, and they'll hand out, and they can be a really good resource for you as well. Okay. So keep that in mind for future. All right, let's get to it. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate that. Absorption rates. How many of you can have an absorption rate discussion with me right now? So let's think about this, and we're going to concentrate on the seller side of this conversation today. I'm going to share this with you. That is in the chat. You guys download that if you want to right now, or we're also going to go over it. So let me share with you a couple of things. I wish I'd known how to have this conversation 20 years ago, because I think it would have changed things. It makes the conversation on both the buyer and the seller side a lot easier when it comes to pricing. And that's on both sides, whether they're selling a home or whether they're buying a home. If you can show numbers like this, then it turns the conversation it takes it out of the emotional conversation, right? And turns it into a numbers conversation. So if you look at the numbers, because everybody, it doesn't, sellers, Janie said one time, she said, sellers they're emotional because of the memories and the experiences they've had in the house. The buyers are emotional because they want it to become their home. Kind of interesting, right? When you think about that. And it's true. And so when you get into that, both of those can be challenges when it comes to the conversations that you're having. And we'll concentrate on the seller side today, and we'll do the buyer side on Thursday. But I want to let's share this. All right, everybody see it? Yes, good. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. This has been helpful. Hey, Brett, how are you? Yeah, man.
I'm good. How big is too big to track? So like I live in the city of Tampa.
Yep.
Tampa itself is not a huge footprint, so we have a lot of sub-cities. So I typically track by county level.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, like active homes in Hillsborough County, we have 400.
Yeah.
Is that too large of an area to track?
No, I would look at that overall, but then if you're talking to somebody that's in a specific neighborhood, I would narrow it down, because that's going to give you a good talking point, right? Because you got what, Pinellas, Hillsborough,
St. Pete, Clearwater.
Yeah, St. Pete, Clearwater. I mean, you got just a bunch of different around. Tampa's huge if you expand outside of it. And so, yeah, do the overall, and then go narrow when you're talking to that specific neighborhood. And I really like the narrow piece of it, even if it's maybe you go Tampa, maybe you go county, and then you go Tampa, and then you go a specific neighborhood. If you've got that, and it could be 3 that are in there as well, because that can give you a really good discussion point and shows them a story and tells the story that they're not going to hear.
Got it.
I didn't have this formula, but there's 114,000 people in my county. And when I take out waterfront homes and I take out new construction, there's only like, there's only like 90 houses. So I can say, you know, there's only 90 houses in the market for a county of 114,000. So even if you don't know the number at that minute, you haven't done Rob's wonderful formula, you can have an easy talking point that take it to a higher level if you haven't done this today.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Leslie, Daniel, it's actually a really easy call. Daniel, come off of mute.
Yes, sir.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, I am calling about 123 Main Street. Is this the owner?
Yes.
Hey, my name's Rob. I'm an agent in the area, and I know that about 3 years ago you had your property for sale. I'm not sure why or what happened with it, if there was a change in life or anything like that. But if I could ask you a question, you had it on the market for $300,000. It is now, according to just a quick study that I did, in the neighborhood of $500,000. If I could bring you a buyer at $500,000 and give you an extra $200,000 above what you were looking at 3 years ago, would you be open to a conversation like that?
Yeah, I'd be open.
Fantastic. I'll be there at noon. No.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
No, that's how you do it. That's right. That's how you do it, Rob.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
like-
it's an easy.
Fantastic. And then I hear the doorbell ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I just happened to be standing outside
Happened to be.
because I really like this property.
Thanks, Rob.
That's it. It's just keep it really simple, keep it to the point. Because you'll find if you guys go back 3 years, 3 to 5 years, you'll find that there are a few hundred that never sold, whatever it happens to be. I mean, life changes, right? Life changes. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe it was right before all the lockdowns and, you know, something happened in there. I mean, how many homes came off the market in March of 2020?
Mm-hmm.
A buttload, right? Because that's when everything got shut down.
Rob, quick question. I know everybody gotta go. Can we do this? Can we switch it from a buyer standpoint, right? You got a buyer that you're trying to do, and you're trying to kind of talk to them about price. Well, show them options on price points on the offers. Could you do a quick one? Because that's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to figure it out from the buyer's perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Eric, I know that this is probably a little bit, this is right at that upper level of what you were looking for. Is that right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, and you're kind of worried about the interest rates?
Oh, absolutely. It's disgusting out there for me right now. What I see.
Okay. Oh, I know. Well, as a matter of fact, we've had to kind of readjust that over the past month as we've been looking, right? Wait a minute. Have we already put in an offer on something, or is this first one?
This is let's just call the first one.
Okay, perfect. So Eric, here's what we're seeing. We're seeing that there's an average of 4 homes on the market right now. There are 4.4 that sell each kind of every month. The prices have gone from $520,000 to $618,000 over the past year. Now, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going on, but you see all of the news of everything, you know, things going up and all of that. If it continues along the same process, the home that you're looking at today and that you're interested in to make your home is going to potentially be more $100,000 or more in the next 12 months. Do you think that even paying an extra percentage or something now, whether it's $500, $1,000 a month, in other words, $12,000 at a max over the next year, is that worth doing that as opposed to paying an extra $100,000 in 12 months, or maybe even not even looking at something of the same quality and value?
Wow. I mean, yeah. If $100,000 versus 12, you know the answer to that, right? So,
Perfect. All right. Well, let's go get this house for you, Eric.
okay. I mean, now Rob, just real quickly. I mean, you pull some comps, you know, what price points should we go aggressive here? What are you thinking?
Eric, let's do this. Let's actually come in at what the asking is, because again, as we see, we don't want to get into, we don't want to lose it, right? Because again, 4.4 selling, only 4 on the market. Let's go for it. Let's win it and let's make it happen.
Understood. Gotcha. Thank you.
Awesome. You got it. And what we'll do is we're going to give them a deadline on responding, so that we're not giving them 24, 48, 36 hours to respond.
Okay. I like that. Thank you.
By the way, I always put a deadline on responses. Always. If y'all aren't putting deadlines on responses, start. All right, good. Has this been helpful? Yes, good. Okay, we are going to continue this conversation on Thursday. All right. So we'll go back into it again. We'll dive into some of the role playing and scripts and all of those things as well. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for your participation as well. We'll see you guys. Obviously, if you're in the game, we'll see you at noon. Wait till you see the scripts that Eric's got for you, by the way, too. And other than that, see you guys later.
Thanks,
Will
Rob.
this be up at the platform when? I'm
Yes,
gonna go through it again.
it will, as soon as I transfer it and it gets produced, I'll put it
It
up.
could be one day or something. One more day.
Maybe less than that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'll get it up there because this is a good subject.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Awesome. All right. Thanks,
Thank
Adrian.
you. See you
All right.
later.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, y'all.